This meeting is being recorded.
All right, you should be good. And I may have to drop off to another meeting, just FYI.
No worries. Okay, so just to say that this video will be made public on YouTube. So if there's anything that you don't want to be shared, please, any sensitive information, please be aware and respect that. Thank you. So what we're going to do is just introduce ourselves, name, where you are, where you're located, what brings you here. So that could be why you want to volunteer, or what you're doing, and or what you're doing. And I'd also like to ask for 3 words to describe yourself, so we can have a little bit of a sense of who you are. If we have time, and depending on how big the group is, we'll end up by telling some stories. And I'll suggest the topic, very simple, off the cuff. I wanted to, before I begin, I wanted to read you a very short piece of a poem by an American, the incumbent US poet laureate, whose name is Jo Harjo. And she writes from a larger piece called Conflict Resolution for Holy Beings. She writes, now I think about this as a global village, so what we're doing is global. She writes, when I woke up from a 40-year-old sleep, I could hear the drums in the global village. I felt the sweat of ancestors in each palm. The singers were singing the world into place, even as it continued to fall apart. They were making songs to turn hatred into love. So on that note, my name is Brenda Kiesel. I am in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We had a pretty big snowstorm yesterday, which was a bit of a shock. And the snow is melting today. I am here for 2 reasons. One, because the older I get, the more love I seem to have and want to give and share and experience. And also because I am running an organization soon to launch called The Village, which is a human and media platform that wants to take the people of the world and weave all of our stories together for the greater good. And I am so incredibly pleased and proud to be partnering with Ukraine Now on this project we're calling Hearts of Ukraine. And for me, as I've said in every meeting, what we are all doing here today is not only vital for the people of Ukraine and its neighbors and all of us who are interconnected, it's also a vital story here at Ukraine Now because all of you volunteers are creating a kind of roadmap for the future, for how people can work together for the greater good. It is tremendously inspiring and uplifting in this really difficult time we're experiencing. So, 3 words to describe me might be tender, tough, and committed. Aleksander, would you like to go next? Your audio is off. Your audio is off. Sorry. Whoops.
Please excuse me.
No worries.
My name is Aleksander. I am national of Belarus, and now I reside in Ukraine, in Lvov, and I can see what happens there in Ukraine because Lvov now Lvov it is a big city which is situated in the west north corner of Ukraine, and it's now faces number of rocket bombarding and many refugees come through and stay there constantly. When the war started, I was living in Germany, but I decided to go to Ukraine because my father is Ukrainian. He is from Khmelnytsk region. I came there in the beginning of April, and I do some volunteering activity. Also, I'm trying to do work connected with reconstruction of destroyed objects, because I think that destroyed cities have to be rebuilt anew while implementing zero energy strategy. I guess it will be possible with our efforts. And now, as I am here in Ukraine, it makes me interesting to be there. I see people who are fighting, who are doing a lot of to be suitable and to make good to win the evil, because now Russia symbolizes evil forces. They are connected to I think that constant hydrocarbon and constant hydrocarbon dependency of Europe provoked that war, and Europe constantly finances Putin his rockets by buying that hydrocarbon fuel. It's you understand, natural gas and
Yes.
oil. And
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alessandra. I think it's quite extraordinary that you went back. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Joseph,
Yeah.
hello, welcome.
Thank you, Brenda. Okay, thank you, Brenda. I'm Joseph. I'm from Africa, part of a country called as Tanzania. I'm a project director in a bursary organization. It's an organization that deals in cultivating youth potentials and exposing them to the world of self-employment. So we make entrepreneurs in our country. Okay, like that. The main issue that made me to be part of this group is the need to stand to fight against what's happening out there in Ukraine. People have to stand, people have to speak. We don't need tools, we don't need guns, but we need to stand and speak and say no to wars. So I do want to see this world full of love. I want to see love everywhere. I want to see people happy. And I know I have a part to play in it. I cannot give money, I cannot give guns, I cannot give anything, but I know my words can speak and people can hear out there. So I feel as this group is the only place I can speak. It's a place where I can tell the world what I have, how I feel about the whole situation. People have to say no to war. People have to stand together, regardless of color, regardless of the place they are. They have to say no to this, and I've started saying no by joining this group. And I believe in together we can do something more great and say stop to us. So that's it.
Thank you, Joseph. I'd love to hear 3 words to describe yourself.
Okay, I'm an honest person, innovative, but also transparent too.
Beautiful. Thank you, Joseph. And man, is it ever good to have you here. I haven't met many people from the African continent, and really wonderful that you're here. Thank you. And your words of love are deeply felt.
Okay,
Patrick.
Sorry, where are my buttons here? Patrick, New Mexico, States. 3 words. Blah, 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 blah. Focused. Blunt. Midwestern originally. And tenacious. There you go. I'm here. I'm a teacher by trade. I lived in Ukraine. I lived in Russia. Lived in Poland. And I'm waiting for the school year to end, which is coming fast. And I would honestly, I'd like to go over there and help in any capacity that I might be able to. I speak the languages already. I am rusty. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some master of the languages here, but it's been like nearly 30 years since I was over there. But yeah, you know, so I'm here for that. Looking for an opportunity to go over and be useful. That's it.
Wonderful. We're so delighted to have you here, Patrick. Thank you. Thank you. And amazing how you were there 30 years ago and it still stays with you. So great. Look how deep the heart goes. Bettina, welcome.
Hello, everybody. My English is very, very poor, but I try to say a few words. Yeah, I'm from Germany, but I'm not so very proud to say it in these days. And yeah, what was the question? To say 3 words about myself or?
Yes.
Okay. Today I'm full of any kind of hope that we can share to be together. And what else? Community and inner light.
That's gorgeous. Bettina, would you tell us why you're here? What brings you here?
Yeah, in the first days of the war, I was very nervous and I wanted to do anything like everybody, I think. I wanted to go there. And the family of my husband is from Ukraine. So I was very emotionally involved. But there were no many opportunities to do anything. And we made some convoys to help people there. But in the end, I found Ukraine Now. I was very impressed by the work and by the reports, daily reports. And 2 weeks ago, I saw the video of YouTube about your community, and I was very impressed. But I just do little things. I do some yoga courses in school, and they have a lot of Ukrainian people there. And yeah, I do just some little things in the place where I live. So maybe in heads, when many little people do some little steps in little places, we can change anything, I hope. Yeah.
I say amen to that. Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Bettina. Asher and Kat, how amazing to see you guys together.
Hi.
Hey, how you guys going?
Great.
We are about 5 minutes from the border right now. We're doing a little supply run. I had a really, really hard day on the 18th, which was the day when Russia struck Lviv again. That border got very busy. But it's been slow through yesterday and then today, but they were anticipating it to pick up at around 4 p.m. So Asher and I hit the road to drive back down. We're about 5 minutes out now, and we're going to drop off some supplies, and we're going to work on helping people get set up with their SIM cards and passing out food and hot coffee and chai, and we got loads of toys for the kids and chocolate milk, and we're just going down to make some people's days better, we hope. So 3 words for me today will be determined, focused, and resourceful. You go.
I've just come up from the other border, was there with a couple other people we connected with through Ukraine Now, and some other people we connected with beyond that. And just there's a lot of people there helping, a lot of help still needed. But after the day that Kat had, I wanted to come and see this border and try and work out where I can be the most useful. And 3 words, tired, refreshed, and hopeful. There's a lot to do. Yeah, probably going to drop out soon, but we'll hang in as long as we can.
So fantastic to see you guys here. And just to let everybody know that Asher and Kat met here at one of our gatherings and have been now working together, which is so exciting. And while we still have you on the call, I'm just going to throw out something I meant to say at the end, but I want to make sure that you hear this. I saw in the media the other day that there was a group of Ukrainians in Poland. I do not know what city it was, but they were Ukrainian refugees, and they had taken the initiative to clean up a city park. So they got together, it looked like there was about 20, 30 of them, and they cleaned up a park, and as a way to say thank you. And it got me thinking about the 2 of you and your desire to bring people together and being, always helping people coming through the border, that these kind of projects are so exciting, and such a wonderful way to keep us connected through the heart. Because war is hell, and people get dehumanized. And what we want to do here is keep our human connection going, keep the love flowing.
Everyone we've come across through 2 different borders, through cities, through stations, has always been so grateful, trying to speak Polish as much as they can, keeping the spirits as high as and so thankful and so appreciative, and not at all what you'd imagine the best possible house guests you could imagine could be, and then some, then even beyond that.
Yeah, I had just to share before we get there, and we have to drop off because I thought it was so lovely. On the 18th, when Lviv was bombed, the refugees were going to evacuations were, and then it was halted because the Russians started bombing the sides of the buses on the road. So everything got pulled back, the trains got stopped. And so we were in this holding pattern until the threat level, and then started letting the buses go. So the border that I'm at is it's a little bit different than the major train station he was at. So this is very locked down and pretty confined. And so people who are coming, turn left onto 866. People who are coming through this border are on a bus and they know where they're going. They have to stop. We are right. So there's the Polish border and then the Ukrainian border, and we're right in the middle, in no man's land. It's very well organized. And it's very locked down, and everybody has to stop there to get their documents checked. So we got to spend time with people, and we saw a lot. We also had the injured people from Lviv come through for medical help through this border, but we would pass out, food and the drinks, and we don't take money for anything. And every time you did that, you would have, just before the buses would leave, they would run inside and grab you. There was a grandma that made me a bracelet of Ukrainian colors. There's an older man that gave me a piece of his house that he's been carrying with him that got bombed, and he wanted me to have it. The amount of people that I just hugged, and we just cried together and cried and cried and cried. But everybody took time to practice gratitude, even though they have so much other things going on. All they were worried about was finding a way to say thank you. And that was, incredible, absolutely incredible. These people, not a single person in a bad mood, not a single person that wasn't kind. Really special.
I think we're going to have to jump off now because we're just not a great time to be on any sort of camera.
Okay.
So thank you for having us. If you have contacts that you think are relevant, feel free to shoot us through.
Okay, we need to get your email addresses. They're all new people on this call.
All right, I'll
So,
put mine in the chat just before jumping off now, and I can always put things onto Kat. She has a lot going on.
okay, so people going to Poland, people are in Poland and want to connect with Asher and Kat. They're doing amazing things. Please connect with Asher. Thank you, and Kat, thank you for those great, just beautiful little micro stories. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Have a great day and keep up the amazing work.
Thank you so
See
much.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
Valérie.
Yes. Hello. I'm from Belgium. And in 3 words, I can be very, very quiet, but I'm still very disciplined and methodic.
Nice.
So,
And why are you here? What brings you here?
I was particularly touched by the problem of this war. When I was younger, I worked in some country as a volunteer. Now I'm not able to live in Belgium, but for those kind of action. But I'm still involved with Doctor of the World, and I'm frustrated of not be able to doing more in such a close place. So I was thinking maybe with the website I can help in a way or in another in Belgium with paperwork or stuff like this.
Wonderful. Thank you, Valérie. I really appreciate you being here. Natalia, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm Natalia. I'm from San Pedro, California, recently retired teacher. 3 words to describe me: straightforward, standing my ground. I was born and raised and educated in Kiev, Ukraine. Therefore, everything that's what's happening in Ukraine these days concerns me. And I'm really worried about my very close friends. Some of them remain in Kiev. Some of them turned into refugees. Besides making quite a few donations straight to the Ukrainian army and to other Ukrainian organizations. Last Saturday, my son and I volunteered at San Isidro. This is San Diego, Tijuana border. 10 hours there. That was an amazing experience, seeing how many helpful hands the Ukrainians have. We did our best to make the refugees welcomed, uttering just comforting words. They're amazing. They're heartbreaking stories. Some had 5 days to reach finally Mexican border. But I'm really frustrated about the government that said that 100,000 Ukrainian refugees would be admitted to the United States. This program has not started, and no one knows when it will come into effect. All the Ukrainians are offered now at the Mexican border is humanitarian parole, which does not give them any benefits, just 1 year of staying legally in the country. Well, we are planning again joining the volunteers at the border one of these days. So that's what we're trying to do.
Thank you, Natalia. I hear and feel your frustration, and it's great what you're doing. And please, everybody, one thing we can all do in our respective countries is pressure our governments. So keep up the pressure. Victoria, welcome.
Hello, it's good to be here. I'm Vicky. I live and work in London, but originally I'm from Hungary. So I saw a couple of friends post about Ukraine now, and that's why I decided to join. I work as a data scientist, so I'm hoping to be useful as a Python developer or as a backend developer in any way. And I was thinking about the 3 words, maybe loyal, energetic, and indecisive. It was hard to find those 3 words.
And there are so many more. Many people find it hard to say things about themselves, but it's really interesting what comes out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great to have you here. Krishna.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I have something to say. Hello, I am from Ukraine, and I want to speak very important things about the war. Because many people think the war started at some point when the bombs start to fall or when the bullets is all around. But the war is such long time ago started, and we get used to it a lot. So we even don't recognize what we living all the time, all our lives in the war. And many of our action is a war actions. So we don't, we can stop war in our lives. We cannot influencing a big thing because it's just a reflection of all people together. And what we really can do is about our own life, of each of you, of me, and all living beings around. You know, like Jesus was saying, we should connect to all things around us. You know, it's not just humans, not, it's everything. It's the trees, it's animals, it's insects, all living beings. We should treat them like we want would us to treat. So, for example, if we go to the supermarket and we buy meat which come from Konzlager, concentration camp, where animals living without love, just for own purposes of the human. That's a war action. It's not okay. If we want, even if we want to eat meat, we should keep what we for. So that action would be okay. If I want to eat, it's not should be too often. It should be time from time, and it should come from place where you should. The same is towards everything. You want to buy new table from the wood. You think you really need that new table from the wood? You know, the trees would killed for that. Our way of life is a war, almost in everything. That's like sound very strong, but it's where we can start from.
I hear you, Krishna. Thank you so much. It's good to have an environmentalist here with us, and hopefully many of us are thinking about the biggest problems that unite us all. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
For nothing.
Paul.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm a good driver. I'm not so good with my phone. I have been reaching out. I'm retired, and in my retirement, I have 8 driving jobs. I love to drive. I've owned my own bus company, but I always love the day when a driver doesn't come in. I have the ability to transport myself and pay for that to go to the conflict area or Poland or Hungary or wherever. But I've sent out numerous emails. No one has ever responded. And knowing drivers are driving day and night, they must need some relief drivers or some help. I'd be very happy to do that. I just don't have the connection to find out how I can go over and volunteer.
Paul, if you look in the chat, I believe that Asher left, yes, there it is, redpandadesign@gmail.com. They are in Poland. They are in Poland. Write to Asher and see if they could use you as a driver.
Okay, so I leave the screen and go to the chat and I will find that information?
Yes, his name is Asher,
Okay.
and it's redpandadesign@gmail.com.
Okay. And God bless you for all you are doing. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
So are you, Paul.
care.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Ryan.
I'll get out of here.
Hello,
Hey.
I'm Ryan. I'm from New Mexico originally. I live in Leadville, Colorado now. Ukraine's very personal for me. I have friends over there. I met some people from Ukraine and the United States and built a really good friendship. And I went to Ukraine in 2018 and spent time in Kharkiv, in Odessa, in Lviv, in Yeremche, and I had a wonderful time. Unfortunately, one of my friends got stuck in eastern Ukraine and I've lost touch with her. So I'm just kind of looking for ways to volunteer and do some good for the world and spread some love. I guess 3 words would be compassionate, loving, and determined.
Thank you, Ryan. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Every time I enter these meetings, I'm quite amazed by the heart and soul here. And it's kind of like this random mix of people from all over. It's really a beautiful thing. And I want to say again and again and again, what we're all doing here, inspired and moved and desirous of helping, this is how our world could be. And I think Ukraine now is such a shining example of what happens when people come together for a cause bigger than themselves. And if we could then take this as a template and spread it to all kinds of crises, the world, to me, the world would be a better place. So thank you. One of the things, and we still have a few minutes left, this is a smaller group. One of the things that we've started to do is to share stories of acts of kindness that we've experienced or seen, or moments of beauty, experiences of beauty. And, you know, something that I say a lot here is, this is the worst of times and the best of humanity. So I wonder if you have any stories to share, even little bits, little anecdotes of acts of kindness or moments of beauty. Natalia.
Yes, both moments of beauty and kindness. That's what I saw on Saturday at San Isidro border. So many people changing shifts. We stayed for 2 shifts in a row, tirelessly. So many people arriving. There are coordinators. They're constantly in touch with the volunteers. There are drivers that, without any hesitation, deliver people to the destination. So much food is arriving, trying to make everything possible, not just sandwiches. There was all nationalities were participating. An American man, we arrived at 7 a.m. There was an American, he didn't speak any Russian or Ukrainian. I speak all 3 languages, so it was simpler for me. But he stayed in the kitchen making sandwiches nonstop. There was a British national living in Newport Beach. He volunteered as a driver. People preparing food, making coffee, taking out the trash, trying everything possible in our capabilities to make these people. And you know, it's heartbreaking when the little kids so well behaved. And we, so being an educator, I know how to tend to the little kids, although that's not my specialty. Mine is high school. Anyway, when I tried to offer them something to help them select, it's a totally new world for them. They were so appreciative, and it breaks my heart to hear, God bless you, ma'am. God bless you. There was no time to cry at that time, but every time I recall these stories and I recall what I heard from those people, it is heartbreaking. But that was an extraordinarily beautiful moment of kindness. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's what I'm talking about. It seems almost otherworldly, and yet it's completely human. This is the best of us. Does anybody else have a story of acts of kindness or moments of beauty to share? I know you do.
I have one.
Valérie.
Yes. It's gonna maybe sound silly, but my best friend lives in Montreal too. And when the war starts, very naively, he wrote to me, if you have no heat anymore, come in my place, because I have a health issue. And a couple of hours after, a friend from Calgary write me to keep a backpack ready when you put your medicine, because the first day was scary for, some people were thinking it will be a world war. And finally, I say, no, I'm staying in Belgium. Belgium is safe and I can be useful. But that was so nice and so real. Then I go for some rehab this summer just for take care of myself a couple of weeks and get back on my feet, because I have a problem in my spine. And that's kind, because we are friends with border, and they thought of me in the first couple of days, and they think kind of stuff I was even thinking about, like packing medicine, or I felt guilty because I'm in Belgium, I'm safe. We need to be worried about Ukraine. But it was so nice. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That is not silly at all. That's what we're talking about. So I had read an article in the New York Times, and somebody commented, and I kept this comment. It said, can kindness become a provocative force that motivates people to communal action? Right? People doing things for each other, reaching out to each other. I can tell, Valérie, how deeply that touched you and must have given you energy and strength. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. And we're such a small group. If anybody wants to just make a comment or ask a question, please feel free. Paul.
Yes, this is kind of a small thing, but it was a very touching thing. Our little small town has a professional orchestra. It's very good, and it has a Polish conductor from Poland, whose mother back in Warsaw is hosting in her small apartment 4 Ukrainian musicians. Anyway, at the start of the latest symphony concert, he invited his 2 Ukrainian violinists to come up at the beginning and play the Ukrainian national anthem. There was not a dry eye in the place. And at intermission, someone just went out and got some bags and they collected several $1,000s. It was such a touching moment. I mean, it was just heart-rendering watching the musicians trying to get through their national anthem, and it was so beautifully played, and it was so touched. So sometimes just a spontaneous small act can generate such goodness. So I just wanted to share that. And thank you for the contact for the driver information. Bless you all again.
Thank you, Paul. That's beautiful. Music is the universal language, right? It speaks to all of us.
Yes.
And there's some, I know
Yes.
that there's a sort of a video that went viral of a cellist playing in Kiev, I think it was. That was
Yes.
just so powerful. If only the media would focus more on that, right? These stories. Hello, welcome. Oh my God, I'm just the young man who just came in. I'm so sorry. So many names in my head and I can't read Ukrainian. Hi. Alex. Thank
Yes.
you. Alex, that's it.
I
Hi.
renamed. It's just my default Zoom name. I was running to get here because I was out there checking university with students, getting more information about entrance, applying everything. So I was out there and I got a notification on my phone that there's going to be a meeting, and I thought I can't miss it. I have to be here. So now I'm here finally. Hello.
Maybe you want to introduce yourself and you know, why you're here and where you are and 3 words to describe yourself.
Yes, yes, just like always. So I'm Alex. I am from Kiev. I'm a Ukrainian. I'm 16, and I had to flee to Warsaw, pretty much, where now I study, work, and do everything what I used to do, but just relocated here. I do design, I do development, coding, Python. It's software development. Also, I do 3D artwork, as well as I've mentioned, design. I've actually connected with one person who needed to make a poster, and we worked on that. I've already done the poster. It's actually for Przemysl, for a refugee center. There had to be like a poster for Ukraine Now team for a desk, I think, where there's going to be like a text, like information and everything. And I just had to do that. I just did that real quick. So real connections happening here. So I'll make sure I leave my email as well. So if anybody needs any design, anything, any help with that, any advice, just reach out to me. I'm going to leave my email in a second in a chat.
What can I say, Alex? It's such a joy to have you with us every time. I love you. I love you. This is wow. You are wow. Okay, so Alex just put down, yeah, his email address. Whoops. Ooh. Here, and I'm gonna grab it myself. Yeah. Okay, so Alex, maybe, I don't know if just off the cuff like this, you might have any stories of acts of kindness or moments of beauty from your recent, you know, from since you escaped Ukraine.
I don't know. So much has been happening lately. I think, I don't know. I think, funny thing, university, which I was looking to join, which was in Ukraine, in Lviv, they actually phoned me while I was going back here, coming home. They had like the admission calling me, asking me about like my plans, everything. And why I'm telling you this is because the energy was really, really wholesome there. People were really, you know, open and just wanting to talk. You know, it's not always the case when you phone like a university admission, but in this case, it was. And people were talkative, people were accepting, just even just connecting to awesome people without even extraordinary wholesome stories is already a thing I appreciate. Just it's the first thing that popped into my mind when I thought, like, what good kind of thing can I remember? And this was the first thing. Just a little conversation which I had with admission, who called me, and just nice people. And you just really have to appreciate that. I actually met one person. I was chatting. He was from US, and he said, like, after a meeting, I will go and I'll have some spare time, and I'll just call everybody who I know, like my brother, my cousins, everybody. And I told him, like, I don't usually meet these kind of people who are, in good position. They have everything. They like, their quality of life of theirs is really high. They have money, they have everything, they have a family. They don't have those kind of problems like war, like fleeing, etc. But he really understood how valuable everything he has is. And he says, like, I do these meetings every day, and then after that I have some free time, and that free time, always what I do is just call everybody. And I just told him, like you're a great person, because not everybody really understands how valuable everything they have is. And I think in these times it's more than important, and it's more important than it usually was, to understand that, really.
Wow. So so you're already commenting on this so quickly. How do you feel about having to leave?
I think actually the first part of, like, when we first arrived here, I thought, like, oh, I haven't done enough like voluntary stuff there, and I feel left out. But I understood that this is like, these just simplifies everything for the rest of my family who stayed there. I put myself in their shoes, and I thought, like, if I was them, I would really prefer for them to leave the country and be in a safer place, because that would be much less nerves for me myself. And I think this kind of mindset, it just helped me cope with the situation I have here.
Oh, Alex, again, so fantastic to have you here. You have a huge heart. You are so insightful. If you can, write down some of these or record some of the experiences that you're having. One day you'll look back, man. I just think you're a very special young man. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for hosting. I really wanted to get in here just because of the atmosphere. You really make my day every time. These meetings, they're just so wholesome, really.
Thank you. I'm delighted that you feel that way. And that it's all about you guys. It's all about you guys and what you bring and how we connect, right? We're all strangers to each other, and yet something terrible happens and our hearts are stirred and we come together, and it's this coming together that we want to build on, right? We want to build on this energy. And my job here is to try and help energize you guys and pull stuff out of you that's going to connect you and uplift you so that you can keep doing all the amazing things that you're doing. And no, I know a lot of you have felt you're not doing enough, or you're waiting for the right moment where what you can offer will be able to help. But you should know that everything you do, and even just the desire to help and showing up and volunteering is something and is deeply meaningful and is part of the greater whole. So does anybody have any more acts of kindness, moments of beauty they might like to share? Ryan, please.
So mine's just a short story. A couple days ago, my mother and I went to Denver to a Pasanki writing class. It was a fundraiser at a church down that way, and about 35 people showed up, and it was a really beautiful experience. There's a couple kids playing the bandera, which is a instrument in Ukraine, and I met a refugee there. She was from Kharkiv, and my mom was sitting there writing on her egg, and she was being really hard on herself about how terrible of an artist she was. And this refugee walks up to her and says, "It's beautiful." And it was just really sweet that she took that time out of her day to say how beautiful it was when she's already dealt with so much in her life. So that made my day.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ryan. And I really appreciate your ability to see that one, just that it's such a small moment. A lot of people wouldn't notice, but you're sharing it here and we understand, right? Just that beautiful moment. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, what I would like to ask you is, during this really tough time, to keep your mind and your eyes and your heart open to these acts of kindness and moments of beauty. And let's keep building on them. We're going to be having these gatherings 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays at 11 Eastern time. So the same time as today, unless you're notified otherwise. I hope to see you guys again. Some people are connecting in real life through these gatherings and working together, as you saw Kat and Asher before, which is so exciting. They last time they told a story, 4 or 6 of them got together in Poland and did something together, and it's just it's not just virtual connection, it can also be in real life. And again, thank you for everything that you do. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.